Hello, folks. Greetings, salutations, and welcome back. I'm Dalton Cowan, and I absolutely will not pierce the tip of your tongue. Stay tuned to find out why. Okay, so there's actually a lot of very valid reasons why I won't perform this particular piercing. It's sometimes called snake eyes or frog eyes, and there's probably a number of other names for it, but it's basically using a curved barbell like you would typically see in an eyebrow piercing in the tip of the tongue to where it looks like you kind of have two balls on the front of your tongue there. Not saying that it's not an aesthetically pleasing piercing, because it does look kind of cool, but the reason why I won't do it is because, first of all, your tongue is actually two muscles, which are bound together in the middle by connective tissue. This is what we pierce through with a slight angle to avoid penetrating the webbing underneath in a traditional tongue piercing. Now, when you do a snake eyes piercing, or frog eyes, or whatever you want to call it, tip of the tongue, what you're doing is you're binding those two tongue muscles together. You actually have to pass through muscle to accomplish that piercing, which is going to make speech and a number of other things more difficult than it needs to be. Reason number 2 that I will not perform this piercing for you is that think about all the syllables. There's one right there. Think about all of the syllables that you say in a day where your tongue is flicking against your back row of teeth and your gums. Well, unless you use something like acrylic, which I wouldn't ever suggest for an initial piercing, or 14 karat gold, or pure, which is softer than your teeth, but still going to wear away your gums. If you're just using regular stainless steel or titanium, it is going to absolutely destroy the enamel on the inside of your back row top teeth. What it's also going to do is it's also going to wear away your gums over time. Once your gums recede, they do not come back. It's very difficult to get enamel to regenerate. So, essentially, you wear that piercing for long enough with, something on those balls that's harder than your teeth is, eventually it's going to wear away your enamel, it's going to wear away your gums, and then your front teeth are going to fall out. Awesome, right? Reason number 3 that I will not perform this piercing for you ever under any circumstances, no matter how much you beg me. It's against my own personal code of ethics. I don't need the money that bad, and I certainly don't need the money so bad that I'm willing to go against something that I know is going to be harmful to your body and your overall health. There's plenty of other piercers out there that will do it, and they'll probably do it a hell of a lot cheaper than I ever dreamed of doing it. May or may not be straight, may or may not be with appropriate implant grade materials, but there are people out there who will do it. I'm just not one of them. So in conclusion, this piercing is really, it is aesthetically pleasing. Come on, it looks cool. I understand why people want to get it, but it's just not a good idea. And even according to the Association of Professional Piercers, which I am not a member, by the way, I don't belong to that organization, even according to them, it's extremely hazardous, and most of your top-of-the-line, top-notch piercers aren't going to touch it either. So if you do find somebody who's willing to do it, they probably don't have that great of an ethical code, or they just don't quite know what they're doing, or they were trained improperly, or something like that. Also, of course, being that it goes through not one muscle, but two, it's going to be extraordinarily painful. So this just isn't a piercing that I offer. It's not going to be a piercing that I offer. Once again, I understand why people like it and why they want to get it, but it's really a bad idea. With a capital B. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. I'll see you guys next week.